Good evening, whoever you are. It's your, that's what someone wants to say. The first sign of addiction is denial, isn't it? Oh, no. I shouldn't run myself down. I'm having an old favourite tonight. Fantastic. Still my favourite. You know, you can have all those other fancy ales and real ales and whatever, but the good old Speckled Hen, still my favourite. Simon Bridges. Hello, Simon. A nomad overseas. Good evening to you. Oh. Speckled Hen. Better than some of those other ones that sound good, but, you know, they're not as good as this one. Okay, I phrased that nicely, didn't I? Randy Andy, hi Eddie. Okay, nice to hear from you, mate. Dixie Enormous, okay, cracking name that, bloody good name that. Are you a porn star with a name like, oh, you got, oh, whatever. Pencil machine operator. I love some of these names. 88 people here already. Welcome to everyone. Shane W. Hello to you, Shane. Darren Mills. Carl Timpany. Hello to you all. Paul Jones, good evening. Edward, good evening, mate. Okay. Is Flores? You know, is that... I'm assuming that's a female. Asian Paradise. Greg, good evening to you all. On Call 21. There's an old name that I know. Hi, mate. Hope you're well. Yeah, hope you are well as well. It's nice to hear from you again. Okay. So it's Mr. Mitch, Moto Kenny. Nice to hear from you. Nice to hear from you, Mr. Mitch. Hello, Ed. Hope you're well. Okay. And say hello from Jim Coles from Sydney. You know, there's a long way. Now, you've got something that we haven't got here. You have got winter sunshine, although you probably call it summer in Australia. You know, I don't know. I wouldn't say no to wandering down Bondi Beach at this very moment. You know, gorgeous, sun-soaked and all that kind of stuff. It's raining here in the UK, where I live, down south. There's something about Wednesdays. I call it Wet Wednesday. Honestly, if there is one day a week where you were most likely to have heavy rain, it's Wednesday. It just is, you know, it just is Wet Wednesday. It's been bloody pouring down today. Scott Murray, okay, nice to hear from you, mate. Daniel Quigley, how's it going now? Greetings from windy Wimbledon. Yeah. Pip, pork pies and the 20-stone woman, lovely. No, I think pork pies and speckled hen is a rather better combination. Okay? Rookie TI, yeah, okay. Mr. Mitch. Anyway, what are we going to talk about tonight? Okay, geez, Ian UK. Hi, Ed. Think you're due for a haircut? I've got to apologise. You know, this hair, you know, it's not actually a haircut. It's a, whichever way you want to shape it, let it grow, you know, like those old university professors who were on the BBC Two donkeys years ago. Just let your hair grow whichever way it wants to grow. There's nothing open. There's no barbers open. I don't even go into the town centre. We're in total lockdown. We're not supposed to be leaving the house, really. There's no barbers open, so, you know, can't get a haircut. So, well, at least I've had a shave anyway. You know, I always have a shave on a Wednesday for this live stream to look presentable. Yeah, so nice clean shave. Dreadful lockdown. We'll call this the lockdown cut. You know what I mean? So nice shave, no haircut. 1 out of 2 can't be bad. Alan Hunter. Hiya, you're famous in Canada. When's my local liquor store? That's for Speckled Hen. Guy says, I've been watching Eddie. Good for you, mate. That's nice to hear from you. Yeah, good to. Well, hello to Canada. I know there's a few people in Canada who watch me here. Thanks for that. Darren Mills just had steak pie, musty chips and peas. Very, very nice. The Nutty Professor. That's a good name for the circle. Yeah, okay. I had from Snowy Oldham. Metal Hamster. I've got 184 people. Now, what are we going to talk about tonight? What are we going to talk about? I have to have these notes here, you know, a few notes here now and again, because, you know, otherwise I'm getting a bit senile, you know. There's something, I wrote a note here about a number of things that I just want to mention, okay. And the question that I put down here, I thought of this question I'd like to ask people, okay? But I didn't, put it all in detail. I just wrote notes for myself to remind myself. And I put down amongst the notes, here is a question for you. Comma, 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 comma. Afterwards, here's a question for you. Okay, just to remind myself that I was going to ask you this question. And a day later, I looked at this notes, and I can't remember what the question. Jesus Christ, how embarrassing is that? I'm getting old. Kipax, do you shave downstairs? No, my bathroom is located upstairs, mate. Okay, so hello, what's on the food and drink? Ooh, okay, getting a bit smutty here. There's some smutty talk going on here. I like a bit of smutty talk, but unfortunately, YouTube doesn't like smutty talk. But I do have a tendency to use, YouTube's American, don't forget, okay? I do have a tendency, you may have noticed, to use certain words that Brits understand, but American YouTube, the robots won't pick them up. I don't want to go into detail about that. I've got one video on my list which has got about 2.5 million views, where I used a four-letter word which is well known in Britain, but maybe they picked it up the wrong way. Oh, whatever. I'm not going to go into detail about that. It is what it is. Eddie, how about travel to Uruguay? Right, now, Alan Hunter, how about travel to Uruguay? Now, Uruguay is only a small country. I've actually been through Uruguay on a bus, a public bus from Brazil to Argentina, and I passed through Uruguay. Hell of a long journey that was. Where did that go? It went from somewhere in southern Brazil all the way down to Buenos Aires. And I passed through Uruguay. I don't know what the script is with Uruguay, but what I do know is right now in the UK, we're in lockdown. Our airports are closed. The phrase is that the travel corridors are closed, which, in other words, it means the airports are closed. I can't go to Uruguay. I couldn't go. South America is out of the sky. Let me tell you something. Oh, Jesus Christ, this is my luck. Now, as many of you will watch this before, in the olden days, before I started making too many videos or whatever, I traveled to a lot of the places that I always wanted to travel to. And one of the places which I'd always wanted to travel, and it did live up to expectations, was the wonderful Brazil. Magnificent country, absolutely fantastic country. Honestly, it's an awesome country. And, it's not the, step out of your hotel door and have a gun held to you. It's not that type of place, really. Not even Rio is like that. Brazil is wonderful. And about a week or so ago, I thought, where can we go? Where's a possibility? I thought, well, I've heard that Brazil's a possibility. Brazil's a big country, massive, one of the biggest countries on the planet, in fact. And I was thinking, shall I investigate Brazil again? It may be time. It was like 10 years ago since I was last there. It may be time for, another venture to Brazil, see what the feasibility is of getting there. And for about 24 hours, I had it in my mind, Brazil, that would be worth visiting. Geez, that would be, well worth going there and spending months there and making videos and all this kind of stuff. And then, the next day I switched on the news, and apparently there's a new strain of this antivirus, and it's coming from Brazil, which means that Brazilians, you're not allowed to go to Brazil, or no one's allowed to come from Brazil. Brazil is totally off the menu. I thought, well, there you go. Well, that was a good idea while it lasted, wasn't it? One of the reasons that I was thinking about Brazil is because I checked on the exchange rate, and apparently you can now get about 7.5 Brazilian real to a 1 UK pound. Now, when I went there, last time I was there was about 10 years ago, it got about 3, even 10 years ago, times were different. It got about 3.7 to the pound about 10 years ago, and now it's 7.5. I thought that's got to be great value to go there at a time like this. A lot can change in 10 years. 10 years ago, Brazil was tipped to be one of those countries where you should invest in, you should buy a property, because Brazil, which has been, it's been out of bounds with a lot of people because of its reputation for violent crime. A lot of people wouldn't even dream of buying a property there. But about 10 years ago, it was hotly tipped that this is the place you should invest in. And, I thought about something like that myself. But a lot, since then, you've had, I don't know, recessions and antiviruses and all this kind of stuff. Well, I don't know. You never know what's coming next. I'm waffling on a bit here. Yeah, okay. Oh, I've got a message from Facebook there. You can't hear it. Great videos you show, but I've been to most. Let's see, great videos you show. I've been to most places. Looking forward to trying some of the bars you've been to, like the Red Piano. I've got a video on my list somewhere in Siam Reap of the Red Piano. Oh my God. Oh my, yeah. Even when you mention something like that, you know, oh, I don't know, it makes me so sad. I mean, I wish I was there now. Nothing I would love better than to be on a night, to be in the Red Piano in Siam Reap, pub street, when everything's rocking and rolling, and such a delightful place, lovely, lovely food, friendly staff. I've got a video that's it's there on my list if anyone wants to check it out. I'd give anything to be there right now. But you know, these are the crazy times that we're living in. Who's this guy? Yeah, okay. Smutty talk. Smutty talk. Let's get on to the topless. Did I mention topless darts? Andrew McIver, Ed, why don't you just do quarantine? Okay, now this is the question that I wanted to ask people. This is the question. What would you rather do if you had the choice? Would you rather go out to somewhere like Thailand, which is probably a place that you really, really, really want to go to, and suffer all the slings and arrows and the 2 weeks quarantine hotel and all this kind of stuff, and the fact that you may be coming out to a potential closure of a lot of the bars? Would you rather do that? Or would you rather go somewhere where there's got a bit of winter sunshine, but it's easy to get to, there's not really too many restrictions, and at least you can get there, but even though that second place is not really the place that you really want to go to. The first place is the place where you have to suffer the quarantine and all that, but you really want to go there. The second place is much easier to go to, but you don't really want to go there. So which would you prefer? You know, if you had the choice, it's a difficult choice, isn't it? Really difficult question. I mean, personally, I wouldn't want to go to either. I wouldn't want to go to either right now. I wouldn't want to go to a place that I really loved, but was so awkward to get to. But I also don't really see the point in going to another country, which is not really the kind of, I don't see the point of going anywhere which I don't really, really, really want to go to. If you're going to spend time and money and effort and flights and coaches to the airports and all the other hassle that goes with it, you should make sure that that place is going to be worth it at the end of it. But I don't know. I mean, it's a lot of those places that are open. A lot of those places that aren't this place I wouldn't want to go to. Andy Finley, okay, I've got 5 days left of quarantine, Ed. Bean boss, pork pies every day. Good for you, mate. I think I've met Andrew Finley. Is that your name? Is it Finley? I think I met you in a bar in Bangkok. 5 days of quarantine. Good for you, mate. Good for you. And I hope it all lives. So let's talk about this 2 weeks quarantine for a minute. Who was the ASQ hotels in Thailand? Who was it most suited to? I mean, who would really, really want to do it? I think the people who really do it are the people who maybe have a missus and maybe children out there, maybe even have a whole family out there in Thailand. If I had a family out in Thailand, yeah, absolutely, I would suffer the 2 weeks of quarantine and all the hassles that I got. You would have to. You need to suffer all that to get out there and be with them. You've got to do that. But you know, for people who are going there on a holiday, to actually suffer 2 weeks of quarantine and then go to tourist centres where a lot of the bars are closed, it doesn't really add up. I mean, I heard this week, one of my Facebook friends told me about somebody who went out to Pattaya for 5 weeks, which meant 2 weeks quarantine and 3 weeks going to the bars, which are probably not what they should be right now. And a lot of them are. That's not a good deal, is it? It's not a good deal. If you're going to go out 5 weeks under normal circumstances to go out to Thailand, that's a long time. That is a good, substantial holiday. But to say 2 weeks in a quarantine hotel and then come out and have just 3 weeks left, even if that 3 weeks might have been good, it just doesn't seem like a good deal. James Monroe, it's not difficult to answer. Go where you were treated best. Okay, I'll go with that one. Dixie Norma, save your shekels for the go-go's. Oh, jeez. Oh, my God. Aren't those go-go bars in Pattaya awesome? Some of those are absolutely fantastic. They're one, you know, I watch some of these. You've probably seen them as well. These are live streams that they have in these bars in Soy 6. And is it any go? Well, some of the bars, the one in Soy 6, I'm watching quite now. And I watched the lady, you know, a lady in one of these bars. And, oh, I know her. I know her. I've got to send her a donation to me. I've got to send her something anyway. Lovely lady. But it's you know, you're watching these things, but it winds you up. I don't want to be watching this on TV. I want to be there. I actually want to be there. And I think they want us to be there as well. Yeah, okay. Okay. Hey, Norma, decided to go to the ASQ and we'll be in Thailand next month. It's worth it if you plan to be there for a year or two. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, if you're going to be there, Thailand is. I booked a flight. I had a 4-month ticket to Thailand, which cancelled. And I'm now glad that it was cancelled because I just don't like the setup of anything right now. I don't like. I've written off this winter personally. I mean, I just don't think I would enjoy travel under the normal under these dreadful circumstances that are going on right now. So I am glad that my flight was cancelled. It was probably a good thing. I didn't lose out on it. I booked it with a credit card. The credit card company got my money back within a few days. It wasn't a problem. I didn't book any hotels because things were so precarious. I thought I'll leave that out. But at the time that I booked it, I would have suffered that 2 weeks quarantine. The idea of not having any beer or anything like that in there would have been, you know, I'd have been climbing walls. But I would have been prepared to suffer that 2 week quarantine simply because I was going out there for 4 months. But on reflection, I mean, it's, you know, I think the whole situation left me a bit dispirited. I did receive a message the other day from a guy. I won't mention his name, but my thoughts are with him. He's actually currently in the ASQ, system, prison hotel system for 2 weeks, and he gets out on Monday, which is the 25th of January. So I'm sure he's not enjoying this hotel, but I think he sounded to me like he's regretting what he's done. But I don't know how long he's going to be out there. You know, he didn't say, and I didn't ask him. But the fact is, he's seeing videos now of bars closed and whatever. And at the end of it all, he's wondering, is it going to be worth it? Being locked in that hotel for 2 weeks, is it really going to be worth it when you finally come out? It doesn't look like it to me. Anyway, thanks for these. Somebody's giving me some super chats here. I don't see. Oh, Andrew Johnson. Andrew Johnson, thank you, my friend. Andrew, yeah, super. And by the way, thanks to the other super chat I got earlier. I missed you. Just got all the paperwork. Andrew Johnson is headed out to Thailand in, I think it's a week on Monday, isn't it? Is it the 1st of February? So something like that. My thoughts are with you, and I hope everything works out okay. I really, really did. Things can change at a moment. I mean, the last few weeks, I think Pattaya and all those other places have been sort of like in lockdown. But I'm starting to see reports now where bars are starting to open again. Things can change all of a sudden. And, you know, all I can say is good luck to you. You know, be really interesting to see how you get on with it all. Let's see. Not only that, the bar's not even, Gareth, not only that, the bar's not even open. Nobody knows when they will open. So what's the point in going? We have no family there. Yeah. Okay. I don't know. I mean, you know, like you say, anyone who's going out to Thailand, I wouldn't try and put them off. I'm not in any position to put them off because this is a situation that I've never known before, and I don't think anyone's really known it before. But you know, if anyone's going to make it, at least there's one thing that you can get out there this time of year, no question about it. You can get winter sunshine. I mean, here it's cold and it's rainy here in the UK. At least one thing you are guaranteed this time of year, you will get the weather. January, February, even March, they're fantastic times for the weather. Let's see. Miguel Andre, I believe from April onwards, things would look better. To be honest with you, Miguel, I've given up, predicting when things are going to get better because, you just don't know when things are going to get better. I mean, I booked my flight in July last year, 4 months in advance for the beginning of November, because I thought during those 4 months, everything will improve and everything will be fine and dandy by the time November comes around. It wasn't. It got absolutely worse. So, you don't know the situation right now. There's no way any of us can say that this time in April things are going to be better, or you can't even say by the end of the year things are going to be better. Nobody really knows. You just got to hope for the best. Okay, is someone's mentioned something. Some of these mentioned something a bit about the vaccine, okay? Let's talk a little bit about the vaccine, okay? As far as I know, 4 million people in the UK have now been vaccinated. So they're making steady progress. I mean, I'm not quite in the age group. I think the predictions are that I think by September, everyone who wants it. I'm waiting for my GP to get in touch with me. I'm in an age. I'm 58 years old, so I think I'm not. I don't know which month. Maybe next month or maybe the year after. I might get a letter from my GP say, come along, steady Eddie. Your time is here. The question is, who will take this vaccine? I know of a lot of people, even some YouTube vloggers I've heard, who were locked out of Thailand, who said that they wouldn't take that vaccine. They wouldn't have it. Well, in that case, then I think you can kiss goodbye to traveling to Thailand or a place like that, because I just get the feeling that it will become mandatory if you want to have a life, if you want to travel. I mean, if you want to stay in the UK for the rest of your life, and say I'm not having any of that jab, I'm not having any of that. Okay, fine. So you probably resign to yourself to the fact that you're not going to get on an airplane, because I think it will be mandatory if you want to go to some of the place you want to go to. You will have to have that vaccine, and you will have to have the certificate to prove that you've had it. It's nothing new. This jab is nothing new. The idea that you may have to have it to go abroad. For years, the yellow fever jab has been compulsory if you want to go to countries in South America. I traveled around South America for 6 months about 10 years ago. And before I went to Brazil, I had to have the yellow fever jab. I think to a lot of African countries, you have to have the same thing. And if you haven't had that yellow fever jab, and you will not have the certificate to prove it when you arrive in that country, then you won't be let in. You won't be let in. Now, maybe the rules have changed, but the idea of having to have a jab in order to travel to a certain country, it's nothing new. I mean, travel is full of hassles. Sometimes you just have to do things that you don't necessarily want to do. When the alarm clock goes off, and I have to get out of bed to get ready to get my coach to get to Heathrow Airport and get that long flight. I don't want to get up. I'd rather stay in bed. I'd rather teleport myself from where I live in the UK, going all the way to. I'd rather teleport myself. But I don't want to do that long journey. But at the end of the day, there's things that there's things that you just got to do. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. Something Wong. This is interesting. Get on a Saga holiday to Pattaya. Something. I've never heard of you before, but nice to hear from you. Get on a Saga. Do you know? I haven't heard anyone mention Saga holidays for years. Years ago, I heard of. Aren't they for over 50s? Somebody once said, when you're reaching the age of 50, when you start getting emails and offers from Saga holiday for over 50s. I don't know. I mean, I'm about to say 50, the age 50, that seems young to me. That seems bloody young. Seems like a kid to me, 50-year-old. I've never received anything from Saga holidays. Maybe they've seen some of my videos and thought, we wouldn't want someone like him going on our holidays. Okay. 484 watching. That's good. Thank you, all of those. In the UK, I've had the vaccine and it knocked me for 6. I don't like injections. I hate them. I absolutely hate them. In fact, I haven't had any. I'm probably out of date for me injections, but before my South American trip, for months before that, I I had to have a weekly injection for tetanus and yellow fever and God knows what else. And every week I'm having to go to. I hated it. I hated that little period in my life where every week there's another injection and another. I hated that. I think I used to have them on Thursdays. So I used to dread Wednesday night waking up to go. But you just got to do it. There's certain things. Life can't always be so simple. There's certain things that you have to do in order to have a life and do the things you want to do. So you just have to accept that. KC, you need a haircut, Ed? Yeah, okay. Well, I think we've already established that one. Okay. Arthur, don't know. Australia haven't started vaccine. I think actually Britain's now leading the way with the old vaccine. I think we've had 4 million people with the jab up to now. So would I get the vaccine? Anyone asking me to? Would I personally get it? You'd have to. I'd have to. I certainly would not encourage anyone else. I would certainly not encourage anyone else. But at the end of the day, if I wanted to travel, which obviously I do, because this is the first winter in 20 years that I've not been traveling. Actually, I think it's more than 20 years that I've not been traveling to the sun. I'm stuck here. I've got food on the table, I've got a roof over my head, I've got work, I've got money coming in, whatever. But I don't want to be here. I want to be in the sun. I want to be in shorts and t-shirts. I want to be in a tropical climate, doing things. Walking along the beach and having a cold bathe and all that kind of stuff. So if you want things in life, you have to suffer certain things in order to get them. And I think it's a small price to pay to actually, get an appointment, head down to your GP and have the old jab. And it's nothing new. I had it with the yellow fever. If I hadn't have had that yellow fever, I think I'm right in saying that this goes back about 10 years ago, that if you haven't got that yellow fever certificate with you when you arrive in Brazil, you will be forced to have it there. And no, I'd rather have it here personally. Just, I don't know. I'm not going to make a big issue about it, really. I think it'll come the time when we'll have all had that jab and we'll just be glad that we've had it. I think anyway. I don't know of any side effects. Lovely speckle down. Okay, Tony and Dar. Okay, no, this is a question. I don't know the answer to this one. I wish I did. I'm sure a lot of people question, even after receiving the vaccine, will the Thai government still require all visitors to quarantine for 2 weeks? Don't know. I tell you what. The vaccine is not as bad as that 2 weeks quarantine. You can get the jab and that'll be over in 5-10 minutes or whatever. It's that 2 weeks quarantine that's putting everybody off. The sooner they get rid of that, the better. Stephen Kayworth, well said, absolutely. Okay, I'm over 500. I'm over 500 in the chat for the first time in a while. I know we've had that dreadful Christmas and New Year period anyway, but there's over 500 people in the chat. Are people getting bored with the news about the new president? Maybe. Okay, Daniel Mills, actually, you're beating Talk Radio UK again. They only got 292 views. Fine, that's good to hear. Tintin, a worldwide vaccine in half a year, please. They just whipped it out, medicine cabinet. Okay, let's have a little look. What else? There's some grub on the menu tonight, by the way. Okay, so I do want to talk about, up to now is, So somebody dropped me a comment last weekend. Somebody's watched my videos from a while and said, look, Ed, I like your past videos, but I really wish you'd get traveling again and whatever. It's easier said than done. Let me establish something about travelers. Well, me personally, I don't go to the one place. I'm not someone who turns up in Thailand and stays there for 6 months. I don't do that. I travel to various places: Vietnam, Philippines, Cambodia, wherever I feel like going to. So the thing is, we all know that travel is more difficult this particular year. But what is even more difficult than traveling to a country under the present situation is actually border hopping. I will, when I travel to Asia, I will sporadically go to Pattaya. I'll start off in Bangkok, head to Pattaya, stay there for a couple of weeks, and then I'll head to Vietnam, do my stuff there, maybe go back to Pattaya, maybe go back to the Philippines or whatever. And what I'd like to say, which travel vlogger right now is actually doing that, a variety of countries, who is border hopping from countries to country? I can't see anyone doing it. Who's doing that? Who's doing that right now? I haven't seen any vloggers going from Thailand to Vietnam to the Philippines. No, nobody's doing that. So the actual travel that I'm used to, it's not available anyway. I don't go to any of these countries and just stay there for months on ends. Okay, let's see. So, yeah, absolutely. Okay. Well, okay, let's see. Anyone else in the chat? Okay. Oh, some wonderful names here. Going to Mr. Oh no, I don't want to talk about. Don't want to talk about politics. What do you want to talk about? The TV's full of it. You know. I'm not going to get involved in American politics. I'm not American. I've even less enthusiasm for British politics. I mean, we got Coco the Clown as our Prime Minister. Although I must admit, he grows on you. He grows. Even Thatcher grew on you, after a while. Okay. So, it's dreadful now, but I just think that all, the travel's out of the window for this year. It's the month of January. I said on previous live streams that this dreadful antivirus that's going on. I said this during the spring and the summer, that there's no way that a country like Thailand or Cambodia, those other countries, are going to lose the main peak season, which is like November to March. The peak season is only about 4 months at the most in those countries. There's no way they're going to lose that, but they have lost it. I think the peak season in those countries is well and truly lost. So if they can lose the peak season, they can lose anything, really. Yeah. Somebody mentioned another vlogger there. Yeah, he is island hopping, yeah, but not from country to country. I'd like to travel from, to other countries. You simply, if you're in Thailand right now, and it's the easiest thing to do is to book a flight to a city in Vietnam. Uh, that's the easiest thing to do. But Vietnam, I haven't heard anything about Vietnam right now. I mean, what's the script with that country right now? It just seems to me that they're not letting anyone in. Cambodia, I believe, is open, but it's not what it should be. It's only half throttle, and they've still got that 2 weeks quarantine and that huge. I think it's 2,000. It was $3,000, but I think it's 2,000 now, US dollars, before you can get in there. There's nothing good. There's nothing good going on right now. Let's see, K-Pax, they're filming closed bars and not telling us everything that we already know. Logan, let's Gareth Martin. I don't know the answers to that one, mate. I'm not doing politics. But it'd be funny if he was. It would be funny if he was arrested. Okay. Who's there? Richard, after the antivirus, would you consider going to China? I'd like to visit China, but I don't think I'd enjoy that place. I've said this before. I've never actually been to China, only across the airport, that sort of stuff. But the real reason that I haven't been to China is because I've traditionally travelled in the UK winter time. Okay, and China is freezing cold at that time. When you're in the months of November, December, January, whatever. I don't want to go to a country that's even colder than England is. I want to go to a place where I'm walking around in shorts and t-shirts. So that's why it's because of the weather. That's why I've never been to China. Oh yeah, Jamie M. Now this is interesting. this is interesting. I was actually wondering today if you had a test in the UK before travel and came back negative and then went to Thailand. I'm sure a neg test in 5 days is it? I don't know about this. I don't know about this, but what I do know is that the one thing which really, really, really puts me off traveling right now, other than that 2 weeks quarantine and all that rubbish, is this business of a test, you know, an antivirus test, which is no older than 72 hours, which means that you've got to have that test within 72 hours of actually boarding that plane, or is it 72 hours of arriving in that country? I think it's 72 hours of actually arriving in the country. Well, when you talk about long haul countries, it can take a day to get there. You know, you leave your home, you get the bus, the National Express bus to the airport. You go through all the palaver of getting your flights and whatever. It can be a full 24 hours, and this 72 hours to actually have the test and then get the email to prove and print it out to prove that you've actually had the test. And it's I'd be worried too much about that. It's too much stress, that is. You know, it's just too much stress. You know, so it's cutting it really fine. What if that email doesn't say it? What if they just don't email you? You know, it's I've had situations before where I've been to the doctors and, you know, they've said, I'm going to send you an email. And then about a week later, I've still been waiting for it. Okay. Here is your symbol. 523 in the chat. Welcome to you all. Let's see. What is it? Falio Buchanan. Vietnam is shut down. That's dreadful. That's just so dreadful. I know that they were doing well and then they had a spike in Da Nang and all that. I'm gutted. I would quite happily spend months in Vietnam. A wonderful country. I'd quite happily be in Vietnam now, but yeah, you're right, it's shut down. Somebody messaged me the other day to say, you know, one of my old videos on the Trang, and they said that death is a dodo now. I think the phrase for this year that you're hearing quite a lot of is the phrase ghost town. I've heard that phrase so many times. You know, Pattaya is a ghost town. I've even heard Bangkok is, you know, in the main tourist areas is a ghost town. You know, Vietnam, Jesus Christ. There's very little, you know, we're not really hearing much about Vietnam at all, but, you know, I don't know. Thailand bound. How are you, Peter? Nice to hear from you. Have you ever seen the movie Groundhog Day? I feel like I'm in it right now. Me too. Me too. I feel. You know. I feel. I think we all feel a bit like that right now. I mean, but the fact is that January and February. I'm usually abroad in February in the United Kingdom. You know, and hopefully I never will again. But January's a dull month anyway. I'm not really bothered about the bars and clubs and all this kind of stuff being closed. There's only little things. I mean, you know, I wish I could go and get a haircut, but none of the barbers are open. But at the end of the day, I still have a job where I can make money every day, and it gets me out of the house that I can go to work every day. And I don't know, it is what it is. And I've got food on it. I can eat whatever I want. I can have steak dinners whenever I can have pork pies whenever I want. I can have speckled hen whenever I want. My sympathies are with the poor people in the entertainment industries in some of those countries like Cambodia, Vietnam, and Thailand. Those people who work in those entertainment industries are going to suffer big time. My thoughts are with them because there's a lot of people there who are going to suffer really badly. You know, they depend on tourists, and there's no tourists. Okay. Cambodia. Okay. Let's see. Piece of blue. Pork pies tonight, Eddie. Guess what I've got coming up. Okay. Uh, check the Coleman pies. If you bought Dicker Tunnel, God knows where to. Stalag 21. Stephen Plum, do you give me cancer? Cambodia, you have to put 2,000 deposit. It was 3,000, but I think they reduced it to 2,000, didn't they? By popular demand. It doesn't seem like a good deal, whichever way you look at it. Okay, anything else? Oh, let's see. Okay, so anyway, it's going to be time now, for a quick break. I've waffled on for 40 minutes. Buy hair clippers, tumble wheels rolling down the street. RL had plans to take the missus to Vietnam this November, and we're thinking that it won't happen. Do you mean November 21? I'm tempted. That seems like such a long way, and I'd be tempted to say under normal circumstances, that's almost a year away. And I mean, of course things will improve by then. I've given up saying they will improve by then because nobody knows. Nobody knows how long this is going to take. This is going to go on for. I would never ever have thought that countries like Thailand could lose their whole peak season, but looks like they have. Kipax burn pies? No. Kip's guitar. My mate in Saigon sold his bar for full in February. Went bust a couple of months later. Lucky boy. Yeah, no, well, I suppose so. D's nuts. D's nuts. Okay. Thank you for that £2 donation. Thank you for that £2. I won't comment what you commented. But if you want to send a £2 donation, that's up to you. Is it okay? Is it the same drinking at home? Is it the same drinking at home than in Thailand? No, I'd rather be in a bar in Pattaya or Bangkok or wherever. I really would. I'd rather be in a go-go bar, one of my favorite go-go bars in Pattaya. Oh my God, those women are awesome. Those women are awesome. And I'm still not telling anyone where my favorite go-go bar is in Pattaya. No, it's not the Windmill. It's another bigger, better bar with some of the bodies that those. Oh my God! Excuse me, I'll take a cold shower. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just going to go and grab another beer. Okay, back in a minute. Okay, here we are. Here we are. Let's see. What have we got here? We've still got a bit left in the other one. Never mind, anyway. Never mind. 506 in the chat. Did you hear the squeak at my door? Somebody commented that, I like that bit in your live stream where, you disappear for a minute to grab a beer and you can hear that squeak. I think that squeak of the door is becoming a little minor celebrity in its own right. Okay, what have we got here? Let's see. We'll see. Hang on a minute. What have we got? Let's see. Deep fried Mars bars with curried sauce. Oh, that sounds bloody awful. That does. Hey, I'll tell you something. I've actually given up chocolate in recent times. I used to like a good Mars bar. But I don't even Mars bars and curry. No, thank you. Paul Hoskin, lovely to hear from you, Paul. Always one with the funnies. I love his funny. I won't repeat some of them on here. Robert Jones. Robert Jones. Like it. Like it. I'm not going to repeat it, but I like it. Chris S. Kink Bar was a good night before Christmas. Well, okay, I've heard of that one. That's OK Metal. I think it is. I think it's OK Metal. Some of the ones around Walking Street are the best, though. Okay, let's see. Sensations Go-Go Bar. Oh, some of those Go-Go. What I'd give right now to be drinking, you know, I'd say what the only clue I'll give it is that one of my favorite Go-Go bar, just off Walking Street in Pattaya, does Black Rat cider, and it's basically about £5 in English money for a pint of it. Now, cider is not always easy to get hold of in Thailand, but it's a bloody good cider. And the thing is, when you're drinking lager all the time out there, it gets a bit sameish after a while. So you like a bit of variety. I still haven't come across Speckled Hen out there. Oh, lovely stuff. Beautiful. Thailand bound. You need to put a test card up like they have in the old days. Remember that? What was that test card? Apparently, it was the most viewed thing on BBC TV. That bloody annoying thing when you switched on BBC TV, there might be something interesting there. And you got that young girl with, she had like this puppet, didn't she? And she was doing something with a puppet or whatever. Oh, bloody annoying me. Oh, yeah, remember, it's strange how little things like that come back to you. Cambo Chris Travels. I went to the Red Piano because of your video. Well, thank you. And they were lovely. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you had a great steak there. Somebody, another vlogger who I won't mention, actually said of my video, the Red Piano, I won't do an impression of his voice because you'll guess who it is, but he said that looked like shoe leather. You know, that looks like shoe leather, that steak. Well, I can tell you that steak was not shoe leather. It was absolutely beautiful. Who's that? Tom Bernard. My family may have decided to do quarantine with our 3-year-old daughter. One way flight, we are not coming back. We have home there, so just packing them up. Good luck to you, mate. Good luck to you. Good luck to you. If you're going to make a big move like that, yeah, I'm sure that quarantine is a small price to pay. Miss Pelotomy, creaking doors, all Speckled Hen and pork pies. It's Wednesday, okay? Yeah, it certainly is. Richard, Eddie gets off the plane in Thailand. He will let up the first massage parlor he sees. Do you know something? I mean, a couple of years back, you know, I think I broke my record between actually stepping off the plane, arriving at my hotel and actually hitting the massage parlors. I think probably over 45 minutes. And oh my God, I was so tired after that long journey. You know, all the stuff that goes with it. You have that long journey all the way to Pattaya. You finally get into the hotel. It was about 6:30 in the evening. I thought, my God, I'm so exhausted. I just get in that hotel room, crash out for as long as it takes to crash out, and I'll just crash out and whatever. And as the taxi pulled into Soy Honey in the hotel I was staying at the time, I seen all those girls in the massage parlors, you know, hello, hello, hello. And I thought, you know what? I'm not tired anymore. I was in my hotel, showered, changed, had a nice refreshing beer. I was out there and I was in one of those massage parlors. Oh my God almighty. God, oh, she was awesome. Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely fantastic. Talking about overrated things last week, well, I think the most underrated thing in the world is Thai massages, especially if you go to Soy Honey. Bo de Zephyr is that great rock star's name. Would you move to Thailand permanently if you could? Oh, I would do, but it's a massive subject. It's a massive subject. And the most important thing that you have to consider is health, the health issue, and whether you're insured for health. I think that's the most important thing then to talk about. Richard White, what guarantee is there that all girls will come rushing back to Pattaya when this is all over? I don't think, you know, you use the word rushing. I don't think anything will rush because I think the way things are going, it's a long, slow process. Everything's a long, slow process. I'll tell you what, someone done a cartoon in one of the newspapers last week in the UK. It was a cartoon about a snail, and basically the rollout of the vaccine is going at a snail's pace. I didn't get the whole joke, didn't bother with that, but basically everything that's moving with this total pandemic is moving at a snail's pace, and I mean a very, very slow. We never would have thought like 6 months ago or a year ago that we were at the stage where we are now, where we're still having lockdowns. Everything's moving at a slow pace. So when you use the word rushing, I don't think anything's going to rush anything. I think, if all of a sudden, the final lockdowns are over, the ASQ 2 weeks prison hotel is over, finally over. I don't think the idea of rushing. I still think it'll be a gradual process. It's still going to take time for those bars and everything to be back the way it normally was. Oh, let's see. Okay. Carl Foster, I take Viagra to stop me rolling out of bed. That sounds bloody good. That sounds bloody good, yeah? Sounds like a good idea. Anthony Cavalier, the bars will need to reopen before the girls move back to the city. No, this is the chicken and egg syndrome, isn't it? And I have heard this from another vlogger who does a good YouTube channel. Is that I mean the bars are empty. There's probably not many girls there, simply because there's no tourists. So the girls are not going to go back there until they know that there's tourists going to be there. But the tourists are not going to go there when all the other stuff, the quarantine hotel, and they see videos of the bars being empty and everything. So it's like a chicken and egg. It's going to be a long, slow process. It's going to be a hell of a time before anything gets back to normal. But anyway, now, the moment that I've all been waiting for, okay? This week's speciality, right? It's the return of an old favourite. These are actually Sainsbury's pork pies. These are. I've reviewed Co-op Melton Mowbray, Asda Melton Mowbray, somewhere else, Morrison's maybe. But these are Sainsbury's now, so I'm giving you the full. These are the things I do for my YouTube channel. Right, now what am I having this? Now, I've traditionally had them Roger Moore style with tomato sauce. Someone said you should have them with mustard. But what I'm going to do is something a little bit different right now. This is, and I picked this up from Sainsbury's, 60 pence. It was a sell-by date 28th of January. Yeah, we're still well within the sell-by date. Deli-style coleslaw. Okay, now how about this with pork pies? Now, coleslaw is one of those things. I only bought a small package of it simply because when I buy a big package, thinking it's a good idea, I'll have a little bit of it and then I'll leave the rest in the fridge and then forget about it. So here we go. Pork pies. Whoa, Jesus, that's a bloody big dollop, isn't it? Jesus Christ. Pork pies with coleslaw. Does that sound right? With a swig of speckle then, first of all, before we have the feast, the Wednesday night feast. Ugh. Okay, let's have a look. Who's scheduled for the 15th? Now, that's probably a good combo, okay. A little bit more speckle down here. Well, looking good. Ugh. This is the what's this now? What's this? Little Mike Milton, one of your travels, what's your source of accommodation? Airbnb, Booking.com, definitely Booking.com. It's just easy. It's just so easy. Simple. Airbnb, I'm not quite used to those. Maybe I'm trying to investigate those one of these days, but not used to those right now. I'm not really traveling right now. Ivor Pesky, they're not starting the vaccine for another 2 months. It will be another 6 months. I don't know where you are, but at least 14 days isolate. Oh, yeah, whatever. Well, it's not starting another the 2 months. I don't know which country you're in. Stay frosty cabbage with mayonnaise. K1, have to be careful booking flights, etc. In the future. Companies could go bankrupt. Well, I wouldn't be surprised at all. Just look at this is going to be the mother of all recessions, the whole world. Where I live, I can see out in the sea right now the English Channel. I can see out in the English Channel. I can see beautiful big cruise liners. They're just parked out there doing nothing. They're doing nothing. You know, I've never been on one of those lovely cruise liners, but they look from the distance, you know, they look fantastic. I'd love to go on one. I'd love to see, you know, an amazing feat of mechanical engineering and absolutely fantastic. I'd love to go on one of those things. You know, I know they have a reputation of, you know, old biddies. I don't know, you know, I might meet the grandmother of my dreams if I went on one. But, you know, I would love to go on those things, but I've seen them moored out there. And those ships are probably run by these multi-million-pound, maybe billion-pound companies. If they're losing money, everyone's going to lose money. That's the way I see it. Okay, now here we go, pork pies. Okay, this is Sainsbury's. I usually have the Co-op. That big Lidl's pie that I had last week, the big one, they called it a medium, but it looked like a big 1,000-calorie plus thing. That was, for the £1.59 I paid for it, that was really good. Anyway, this is Sainsbury's mini pork pies. Very nice. Tasty. Lovely stuff, lovely stuff. A little bit of coleslaw to go with this one. This is, I love Wednesday nights. Wednesday night, my favourite night of the week. Speckled hen, pork pies, and 466 people in the chat. What more can anyone possibly want? So, Sainsbury's buffet pork pies. Stop the World to Want to Get Off has sent me $4.99. Thank you, my friend. Have a hen on me. I'll group this as well. And I must apologise once again to the person who keeps telling me not to talk with my mouth full. Sorry. Lovely, jubbly, beautiful. I'll tell you what, this stuff's pretty good. This coleslaw, it's not something that I normally eat, but that's actually tasty. That accompanies the pork pies very, very nicely. That's tasty in its own right. Oh, let's have a look at this chat. Staying frosty. Definitely don't want a 20 stone. Or is that the way that you spelled it? Is that defiantly don't want a 20 stone? Something like that. As Paul Hoskin, as the Keith Floyd of live streams. I'd love to be. He was a character, wasn't he? He was a narky bastard, wasn't he? That Keith Floyd. Have ever seen him on that TV channel? You know, he was a TV chef. Oh, he was a grumpy fellow, but he was a character though, real character. Okay. So let's see. I'm just coming up to an hour now. I'll tell you what. Bobby goes, egg classes coleslaw as a salad. Did I use the word salad? You used the word salad, Bobby. Okay, Eddie, what is better? The Sainsbury's pork pie or the Lidl's? Well, it's early day with the Sainsbury's. You know, I've only just tasted that first mini pork pie. But that Lidl's one, for the £1.59, I would rate that very, 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 very highly. KC, is the pork pies hot or cold? I've never eaten a hot pork pie. It's the perfect cold snack. late at night. Even though they're high, when you say snack, it's actually very, very high in calories. Graham Johnson, Edward, try Waitrose. I've never ever shopped in Waitrose. Never shopped there. Where is there a Waitrose near me? I think Edward, try Waitrose melt and mulberry pot pie is better than the originals. There isn't actually a Waitrose in the where I live. There was one. There was a Waitrose where I live, but it's it basically it left basically because Waitrose is quite expensive, and I don't live in an expensive area. I mean, the area that I live in is so poor. When we have a rainbow, it's in black and white. So Waitrose is. I think Waitrose, the site is being taken over by Lidl's actually. Spoke, flight cancelled. Sorry, just tuned in. What's the story? Well, the story is that I booked a flight beginning of July for early November, 4 months in advance to Bangkok. And it was a 4-month ticket to Bangkok, which would have incorporated Thailand and maybe other countries and all that. But I wasn't surprised when the flight cancelled. And I wasn't surprised when the flight cancelled. And with hindsight, I'm glad that it cancelled. I'm glad that it cancelled because I just don't see the situation being very good in Thailand. Having said that, there are other people who are going out there, and my thoughts are with them. Even some of the people who watch this channel. To anyone who's going to suffer that ASQ quarantine to go out to Thailand, I really, really hope you can prove us all wrong and it turns out worth it. I really, really hope that. But I'm just, it's just, I don't know. It's a sad situation all around right now. Fabio Buchanan, I had a Marks and Sparks luxury pork pie once. Now we do have a Marks and Spencer's where I live, but I never shopped there. So I've never ever. It's just I think years ago I went into it with Marks and Spencer's to do a bit of shopping. Having listened to other people who said, you want to go in there, it's got some really great stuff there. I walked into Marks and Spencer and everything was twice the price of, other places where I'm used to shopping. You know what I mean? Oh, to hell with that. I put the shopping basket back and walked out. No thanks. What's the point? I don't know. You could be right. Maybe I'll nip in there one of these days and spoil myself and get a Marks and Sparks pork pie. Carl Foster's a bit... Okay. Let's see. Wolves, when are you going to do a video on the cost of long travelling? Cheers, Ed. You don't need... I'd love to do... I have done videos on the costs of things, but the cost of maybe 2 weeks in Pattaya, and some of those videos have gone down really, really well. But you know something, Wolves View, I just think at this moment in time, I think all there's anyone really wants to know about is how they're going to get travelling again. And also to actually do a report at this moment in time, you're not doing it at a typical moment in time. I mean, if you could make a video now, I mean, what relevance is that video going to have in a year or so's time when all of this is over? I just think the whole spirit of traveling's been zapped out of everybody right now. I really, really have. I'd love nothing better than to be in a country now doing a report on how expensive this is or the cost of getting it or whatever. But I just don't. I just don't think it's the time to be doing that. Fabio Buchanan, that was a great video you did, Ed, on the 2-week millionaire trip. Thank you. Thanks for that, mate. Really appreciate that. Really appreciate that. Okay, so listen, I'm going to wrap this up soon. It's an hour and 4 minutes. I've waffled on a bit. We haven't got anywhere. The purpose of all of these kind of live streams is that this is a very, very difficult. This is a very, very difficult time right now, and it's a time which hopefully will be a thing of the past and before long. And I don't want to say another winter like this, but we can all come together and share our misery. Then, if we can all share our misery together, just come together and talk about it. Dave Berlinston, 136 Street and 104, great place. Your vids are the reason I went to Cambodia. Hi from Canada. Well, yeah, absolutely. Well, I hope you enjoyed it, mate. I always enjoyed it. I've got a fond memory for those. I call them the 136 and 104. I call them the Stones and the Beatles streets. 136 was the Beatles. Sorry, 136 was the Rolling Stone Street, simply because there's a lot more of it and it goes on for a lot longer. But for me, 104 will be the Beatles Street. It may not last very long, but damn, I mean, it was quality stuff. It was that was the one with the real quality. I would love to see those streets again. Absolutely love to see those streets again. But I heard that the last I heard, some of those places may be open, but the police had curfew in those places, and they're putting a curfew on it. Nothing's what it should be. Let's just hope that the good times return again. Samuel Hutchinson, thank you. Have a Marks and Sparks pork pie on me, Eddie. Cheers. Okay, that's it. I'm going to nip into Marks and Sparks to check out their pork pie. Try and bring one on the show next week, okay? Let's see what they're all about. Thanks for that, Samuel. Appreciate that. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to wrap this one up pretty soon. Somebody said that I somebody said that I what did he say again? Yeah, somebody say I waffle on with these live streams too. So what? It's Wednesday night, everything's miserable. If we can come together even for an hour or so, then it's better than nothing. I mean, if we can find anything, absolutely anything to talk about, that's worth talking about right now at this moment in time, then it's better than nothing. I would rather be traveling right now. I'd rather be traveling, making videos. And there's a couple of things I want to mention, before I go. How about Brazil? I had an idea of Brazil, which lasted about 24 hours. My enthusiasm for Brazil lasted before 24 hours before I'd seen this news report that, a new strain of the antivirus is coming from Brazil. So, we're banning all travel from South America. Well, that went out the window. But one of the countries which I think could be still open at this moment in time is Cuba. Now, I know a lot of vloggers have gone out to Mexico, and I've spent a couple of weeks in Mexico many years ago, and I've also spent a couple of weeks in Cuba. And to be honest with you, if I was really to spend a few months in either of those countries, I think I'd choose Cuba, because Cuba, I was only there for 2 weeks, about almost 20 years ago, when I wasn't really that clued up as a traveler then. But the thing about Cuba. I thought it was a great little country. I didn't do all the things that I wanted simply because I only had 2 weeks there. And whereas now, if I was to go there, I'd much rather have 2 months or 3 months. But I'd rather go to Cuba, and I have some really great memories of that place. Now, can I go to Cuba right now? If I could go to Cuba, I would go tomorrow. I would quite happily head out to Cuba tomorrow, because there's so much to do there. There's so much to see. There's tons of character, tons of places out there that are worth seeing, and to actually make travel videos out there. Yeah, I'd love to do that. I'd love nothing more to do that. But what is the feasibility of going to Cuba right now? One of the things is obviously this. You have to have a antivirus test no older than 72 hours before you head out there. I don't think they have the quarantine. I don't believe they do. But if you want to travel, I know people have actually been out to Cuba in the last few months, but I think they went on an all-inclusive hotel resort, and that's something I wouldn't do. I think they were transported to a hotel. For an actual traveller, an independent traveller, is it ideal at this moment in time? I'm not so sure. I've got to do my research on that one. But I wouldn't mind Cuba. I'd love it. But also, I think when you arrive there, you have this PCR test. I'm still not sure what PCR stands for, but you have to have this PCR test. and then they get the results back to you. Well, I don't know how long it takes them to get the results back before you're allowed into Cuba. But what I do know about Cuba is that everything moves slowly there. There's so much bureaucracy and all that. Everything moves slowly. So I was looking at Cuba today. Honestly, if Cuba, right now at this moment in time, if the green light was for Cuba, I would go there tomorrow, and I would love to do a month or 2 months out in Cuba, because I know I could bring some really great videos, and I know there's tons out in Cuba. That's where it's. I would rather go to Cuba than Mexico. From my past travels, I have much better memories of Cuba than I do of Mexico. So I'm gonna have a little. So I'm gonna have a little bit of a. I'm gonna have a little bit of a look out in Cuba, but nobody knows anything at this moment in time. No one knows anything. So what I'll do. Anyway, I'm waffling on a bit now. It's gone an hour and 10 minutes. I've waffled on a bit. I'm just talking bollocks with the way. Dennis Slickoff, did you hear Tahitian Queen is closed? Yeah, I did. I did hear Tahitian Queen. Very, very sad. Well, my first visit to Pattaya, I met a beautiful, beautiful lady in Tahitian Queen. It was a go-go bar, but it was a rock bar as well. And it was great. I think that was one of the oldest bars in Pattaya. I've never really been there much since, but I've passed it many, many times. And I don't know, oldest, well, it claims to be the oldest bar in Pattaya. If that's closed, then, things are not looking good at all. Okay, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to wrap this up a little bit now. I'm going to wrap it up. Who's that? Yeah, who's that? Meet next till next time, Eddie. Let's see. Yeah, Ivor Chopper. Cheers, Eddie. Yeah, Ivor Chopper. Well, good for you, mate. Anyway, okay. Thanks, mate. Okay. Kepax, don't go. You don't want me to go. You don't want me to go. You don't want me to go. Okay. I'm going to do a couple of other things in the forthcoming live streams. Maybe a few little different things. Somebody said on the comments, I like this channel when it was a travel channel. Well, it's still a travel channel, man. It's still a travel channel. The fact is, I'm talking about travel. Travel involves setbacks. That is the essential nature of travel. If it run 100% smoothly all the time, then it will be wonderful. But it simply isn't like that. Right now is a colossal, the kind of travel setback that I think none of us have ever known before. It's a almighty setback, but it's still a travel channel, and it will rise again. There's nothing more I want than to be traveling again. There's nothing I want to be traveling again. I did produce a video this week where I explain that, and basically it's a terrible time. But if we can come together once a week and simply be miserable together or talk about a few things, then it's better than nothing. Okay. So listen, I'm going to wrap this one up right now. I've got a couple more pork pies and a few more beers. Listen, I hope everybody's okay, whether you're in the UK, Canada. Someone just said Canada's very, very cold. I'd love to see winter sunshine. Sorry, I'd love to see the beautiful landscape of Canada, even this time of year. But obviously, if you live there, it's going to be very, very different. Okay, listen, have a lovely evening. Thanks for tuning in. I'm going to stop waffling before I end up talking complete rubbish. I can talk rubbish with the best of them, but I don't want to be talking complete rubbish, okay? Speckled Hen, pork pies, a Wednesday night. You wonderful people out there, what more can I possibly want? Thanks to everybody. Cheers, and I'll see you next week.